Hello, this is King Sir Raphael, and I'm coming to you guys with an updated video of my speedrun tutorial for Season 3. In our last speedrun tutorial, we covered the 3 bosses within the 3 grave dungeons while utilizing the team composition known as the Dauntless team. However, these 3 bosses have received upgrades, but so did the Dauntless team with new heroes as well as a new mechanic that they can use against the bosses. But before we get into that, please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel and also share this video so more content like this can be made in the near future. So without further ado, let's get right into it. As stated before, the bosses are not what they used to be, for they are more challenging this time around. The boss in Grave of Venom now has an even more damage boost from its green orbs, making it more difficult to defeat without utilizing a team that inflicts AoE damage. While in the early stages of your Grave of Venom progression, it is strongly advised for you to use a team that inflicts AoE damage in order for you to defeat the boss in Grave of Venom. Moving on to the boss of Grave of Rot, the Grave of Rot boss used to just hit you with an AoE strike that has a damage over time effect as well as debuffs. Now in Season 3, not only does he still hit you with an AoE strike that has debuffs and damage over time, but also has a pushback that will affect the heroes that are closest to him, as well as a stun that will affect the heroes that are in the back row. With these added mechanics, not only do you have to draft heroes that have debuff immunity, but you also have to draft a hero that has CC immunity because of his pushback and stun. Aside from that, you also want to spread your units so that way you mitigate the splash damage that comes from his second ability. Lastly, you also want to draft a hero that has a heal block so that way he will not be able to heal while he's trying to consume one of your heroes. Finally, the boss in Grave of Curse. The boss in Grave of Curse doesn't really have many changes to it. Just like in Season 2, you still have to draft a hero that can remove buffs from the boss, as well as a hero that can buff your team to mitigate increased damage that comes from the boss's attack. Also, you want to make sure the boss has an attack down debuff as well as a defense break debuff. Not only will you reduce his damage further, but you'll also cause him to take increased damage because of the defense break debuff. Now that we went over the changes with the bosses in the 3 grave dungeons, we're going to look at the new team composition and mechanics that will help us combat these new changes. With the coming of Season 3 comes a new elemental affiliation that enables you to make new teams for the season. Aside from that comes the mechanic of creating familiars by hatching eggs from your base. These familiars have unique abilities that aid you through PvP and PvE content. One familiar that I wanted to point out is one called Starlight Stoneborn. This familiar has a unique ability of inflicting an AoE debuff, causing targets to take increased damage by 8%. In inclusion to his debuff, he also has a buff that enables his team to negate 2 instances of damage at the beginning of the fight. This familiar is actually given to you for free once you've completed Chapter 12 in the Season 3 event that is now live. New heroes have also come in this season, as well as new classes such as the Shadow class that you can review in the corresponding link in this video's description. The first hero we're going to be looking at is a new hero that was released with Season 3, known as Guinevere. Guinevere is a melee DPS who is a single target as well as an AoE hybrid. She also has an attack aura that raises the attack power of the entire team by 24%. When it comes to her DPS kit, her basic attacks have the capability of turning into a 3-hit combo that will hit for 200% of her attack, as well as her being able to hit multiple targets per basic attack. When it comes to her ultimate, Deadly Ballet, she raises the attack speed of all Dauntless allies by 50%, and also improve her multi-hit capabilities by raising it from a 3-hit combo to a 5-hit combo, as well as raising the attack per shot from 200% of her attack to 500% of her attack. When it comes to how she's geared, you want to gear Guinevere as a traditional DPS by maximizing attack percentage, crit rate percentage, as well as crit damage percentage. Moving on to our next unit, we're going to talk about the unit that also came out in Season 3, and her name is Stanguum. Stanguum is a defensive tank that thrives in PvP as well as PvE. She's able to resist debuffs because of her resistance aura, as well as remove buffs when she uses her skill 1. Not only that, but when she uses her skill 2, she will become invincible to damage for 3 seconds. And when she uses her ultimate, she will cleanse all debuffs from herself and give the entire team a defense up buff as well as a control immunity buff that makes her and her team immune to all control effects. And moving on to the next hero, this hero came out in Season 2, but she is an honorable mention, and this is the Dark Lady. The Dark Lady has been terrorizing this game ever since she was released because of her capabilities. The Dark Lady has a unique buff called Absolute Order for when any time an ally unit or hero dies, she increases the team's attributes as well as heal them for a certain percentage. Aside from that, she's able to inflict the attack penalty buff on a target, as well as remove buffs from multiple targets and inflict a debuff known as Buff Prohibition. With this debuff, Buff Prohibition, the target is unable to receive any buffs of any kind as long as that debuff remains with the target. When it comes to gear of choice, I recommend the Emissary's Whisper set to improve her accuracy as well as her skill haste, and also because she will give the entire team a 10% damage increase every time she inflicts a debuff. And moving on to my next and final honorable mention, my next honorable mention is the Season 1 healer known as Tauren. Tauren has an ultimate that gives continuous healing to all allies, invincibility to the team so they can't be targeted by single attacks, as well as debuff immunity so that the team will be immune to all debuffs. And there you have it. This concludes my Grave Dungeon speedrun tutorial for Season 3. I would like to give a big shout out to the Dragonheir community for allowing me to make video content for you guys, as well as at Angel069 via TikTok for helping me create this video. For everything Dragonheir, please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and also follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Kings3Raphael. Thank you guys so much. Hope to see you guys next time.